Hola chicos y chicas. Are you excited? Because I know I am. Listo, let's begin. Today we'll be learning about plot diagrams. Woohoo! Plot diagrams are used to map the events of a story. Readers and writers use it to analyze and visualize the key features of stories. To give you a better idea, let's look at a visual aid of the whole diagram. Plot diagram. As you just saw, the diagram is a basic triangle plot structure that has certain segments. These segments are exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. They represent beginning, middle, and end of the story. Exposition. The exposition, or the introduction, introduces the characters, describes the setting, and establishes the main problem or conflict in the story. Conflict, aka the hook, is introduced in the exposition, and it is the struggle between two opposing characters or forces. Rising action. The rising action is where the suspense builds and the problem gets worse, and it becomes more complicated. There are often multiple steps or parts in the rising action. Climax. The climax is the turning point in the story. It is usually the most exciting part in the story and the part that makes the reader want to keep reading. Falling action. The falling action is the events that happen after the climax that lead to a resolution or ending to the story. Resolution. The resolution is the outcome of the story. It is how things end up or turn out for the characters. The conflict is resolved. Now that we have covered each part of the plot diagram, let's apply it to an actual story that we are all familiar with. Who can tell me the name of the story with the pigs and the wolf? Correcto, yes, the Three Little Pigs. We are going to watch a short clip of the story once entirely, and then come back and put each part of the story into a plot diagram. Are you ready? Do I have your attention? Let's go. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who lived with their mother in a meadow. One day, their mother said, "You need to go out into the world and make your own way." So they waved goodbye and went out into the world. The little pigs decided to build their houses in a meadow near the woods. The big bad wolf lived in the woods nearby. The meadow was big enough for all three houses, and none of the pigs were afraid of the big bad wolf. The first little pig was very lazy. He decided to make his house out of straw from the meadow. Sure enough, the big bad wolf trotted out to watch him and build the house. When the house was finished, the big bad wolf knocked on the door and asked to come in. When the first little pig refused, the big bad wolf huffed and puffed and blew the house down. The first little pig ran to the second little pig's house. The second house was made out of twigs from the edge of the woods. That should be easy and safe. But the big bad wolf came by and said, "You should not build a house with twigs from my woods. I will huff and puff and blow it down." Sure enough, as soon as the house was finished, the wolf blew it down. The first little pig and the second little pig ran to hide at the third little pig's house. This house was made out of bricks. The wolf came by, knocked on the door, and asked to come in. "Not by the hair on our chinny chin," said the pigs. So the wolf huffed and puffed, and the house did not fall down. The big bad wolf said to himself, "This cannot be. I will climb onto the roof, go down the chimney, and eat those pigs all up." He went down the chimney and landed in a pot of boiling water. He ran away and never came back. The third little pig invited the first little pig and the second little pig to stay with him in his cozy brick house, and they lived happily ever after. The end. That was awesome. Let's now plot the events of the story into the plot diagram. The exposition. The setting here was a forest near a meadow. The characters that were introduced were the mother pig, the three little pigs, and the wolf. The problem. The main problem here was the mother of the three little pigs wants them to move out and make their own lives for themselves. The conflict. The main problem introduced, the big bad wolf is introduced, wants to eat the pigs. The rising action. The problem gets bigger here. Wolf wants to eat pigs. The wolf chases the first pig to his straw house and blows it down. The pig to the second house and blows it down and almost eats two pigs. Wolf gets hungrier and angrier. The problem gets worse. The wolf chases the first and second pig to the third pig's house and tries to blow it down. The third pig finishes his home and is made out of bricks. The climax. The problem gets to the highest point. The wolf becomes frustrated and climbs down the chimney of the third pig's house. He's going to eat here. The following action. The solution is used against the problem. The wolf falls down the chimney and lands in a pot of boiling water. Resolution. The conclusion of the story and the lesson learned, the wolf runs off into the forest and leaves the three little pigs alone. The three little pigs learn he who laughs last lasts the longest. The three little pigs live happily ever after. This is how you plot each segment into the plot diagram. For tonight, what I need you to do is think of your favorite story. Tomorrow during class, we will continue discussing plot diagrams, and you will be given a chance to plot each segment of your favorite story during class. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson on plot diagrams. See you tomorrow. Buenas noches.